Welcome back, bitches. That's right. You're back for another episode of One More Round Fights. I'm your host, Gaff. I do this shit every Sunday, baby. Every Sunday we got fights. I'm here for you. I'm here to give you MMA picks, tips, parlays, tricks, simulations, and all that shit. That's right. One More Round Fights. It is Sunday, April 27th. And we got a lot to talk about, and we got a lot to look forward to. Yeah. Don't forget to follow on social. If you're a fan of the show, you already know about Man Card Minute. You already know about One More Round Fights, but please tell a friend. Please like, subscribe. Please spread the love. Make the community bigger. As you know, we were live on the Main Card Minute yesterday for the main card. We started at 9 p.m. Eastern. We ended at around 12:30. Sorry if I looked like I wanted to get the fuck out of there, but I knew my food was there. I was tired and I was high as fucking real hungry. So yeah, I just wanted to get to that food. It was getting colder and colder and colder and colder by the second. But it's all good. Shout out to Jake, who just texted that he finished in second last night. Shout out to Jake finishing second on the Tapology. Also, don't forget to follow on social, youtube.com/one more round fights, One More Round Fights on Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, and it's a little different on X because Elon has a character limit. So fuck you, Elon. Eat a bag of dicks. Don't forget to send your wins in at one more round fights at gmail.com. I know that One More Round parlay cashed. Oh, I know it did. Yes, it did. We're back on track with another green check. Gotta love it. We're rolling and rolling on, baby. Shout out to our sponsor, W.GG. Use promo code One More Round for 10% off. That is promo code One More Round for 10% off. That is right. Don't forget to get your merch and stuff. Main Card Minute merch. Don't forget to stop by Main Card Minute. Get yourself some merch. They got koozies, stickers, One More Round stickers. They got One More Round stickers. They got Main Card Minute stickers. They got everything. Okay? Let's see who's in the house. Lazy Bet in the house. Let's get it. Ding, ding. He already knows. We got 3 bells before every show. We got the single, the double, the triple, and then the rip. You feel me? But yeah, we have a lot to talk about, man. Without further ado, let's get into it. Ian Machado-Garry defeats Carlos Prates by unanimous decision. I don't want to say what a fight because I was bored for a lot of it. For the first half, I was bored as fuck. I was bored. I was like, damn, Ian Garry looks good, but I am yawning. What is happening? He's just leg kicks, body straights, failed takedown attempts. That's all I saw for about 3.5 rounds. Until Carlos Prates decided, oh yeah, I'm going to go after this kid. Carlos Prates, in round 4, puts it on Ian Machado-Garry, opens the cut under his eye that we saw him come into fight week with. Now, questionable decision for Ian Garry coming in on short notice to fight a guy like Carlos Prates, knowing that he had a couple facial injuries. Injuries that could have very well opened up early in the fight and ended the fight early, but he took that chance. And Ian Machado-Garry withstands the 5th round onslaught from Carlos the Nightmare Prates, the fighting nerd himself. Man, Carlos Prates lands a big inside clinch strike, drops Ian Garry, starts wailing on Ian Garry from the back, from fetal position, turns him around, gets into full mount. Ian Garry somehow wiggles out the back door. Prates is trying to hammer fist him to death, missing, trying to keep his balance so he can't land a hammer fist because he has to use that hand to balance himself. Ian Garry somehow crawls away, literally crawls away on his hands and knees. Carlos Prates grabs him by the seat of his pants, trying to keep him from crawling back to the fence, wailing on him some more. And somehow, Ian Machado-Garry gets back to his feet and survives that 5th round. The judges. The referee is holding both of their hands. And the judges give us the decision. Ian Machado-Garry, unanimous decision. Damn. I mean, I don't want to say what a fight. Like I said, I don't want to say what a fight, but what a finish. What a finish to the fight. Yeah. We got to say that. Ian Machado-Garry showed us he does have heart. He's got heart. Because to withstand that onslaught from Carlos Prates, I mean, granted, he took this fight on short notice, so maybe his cardio wasn't where it had to be. Granted, he didn't have enough time to prepare for a striker like Carlos Prates, who is going to put it on you late if he's not already winning the fight. But goddamn, that was good theater, wasn't it? Holy shit. Me and Luke on screen were screaming at our screen, screaming at each other. Oh my God, is he going to do it? Oh my God, is he going to do it? And then we go to the judges' scorecards. And Ian Machado-Garry proves everybody wrong. He says, no, I'm championship material. No, I'm one of the best guys in this division. And no, you're not going to deny me a title shot anymore. Nobody can deny Ian Machado-Garry a title shot after this. I'm sorry, Sean Brady. I'm sorry, Shavkat Rakhmonov. But like I said last week, a good performance by Ian Machado-Garry is going to push your ass back. It's going to push your ass back, baby. I'm sorry, but I literally forgot your last performances, both of you. I literally forgot. No offense. I forgot about Sean Brady submitting Leon Edwards. I'm like, it's Leon. Now, that's how I feel about it now. I'm like, it was Leon. This guy just fucking stood in there with a nightmare 10 fight KO streak killer and almost got finished himself, but on short notice still made it to the end and still pulled out a unanimous decision win. Yeah, Ian Machado-Garry, I'd love to see you in a title shot. I don't even give a fuck about the other guys. You talk better. Technically, you fight better. No offense. Technically, you look better. You're a family guy. You speak English. You got 3 crowds on your back. Irish, Brazilian, Americans love you. I mean, all of Europe is on your back. All of South America is on your back. There is no reason that you don't have him as the next title shot after Jack Della Maddalena. Whatever happens in that fight, you have to. I don't care. I don't care about rankings. I don't care about nothing. I don't care about honor, nothing. Just for the sake of money, money, money. Now. He's hot while he's hot. You got to strike. Ian Machado-Garry has to fight for the title next. Sorry, but not sorry. It's just the facts of life. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm sorry Shavkat may have a win over him and a better streak. I'm sorry Sean Brady just got a nice win over Leon. But short of a Shavkat rematch, I'm ready to see Ian Machado-Garry fight for the title next. I'm ready. It is what it is. I know. Be mad. I'm the bad guy. But Dana said it himself. He had agreement with Ian Machado-Garry that if he somehow pulled this win off and saved them on short notice, that he would be the backup fighter against Bilal and Jack Della Maddalena in Canada. And that if he didn't go into that fight and contend for that title, that he would be the next title shot. And I love it. And I love every second of it. I'm not ashamed to say that I do. I'm sorry, I'm not. It is what it is. Call me a fucking cash. I don't care. It is what it is. Lazy says absolutely a draw for me. Gary 10-9s for the 1, 2, 3, and Prates 10-9 for the round 4, 10-8 for round 5. Yep. I was screaming at my TV like my mom watching Hulk Hogan in the 80s. Yep, me too. Solito in the house says, yo, brother. After you said it during the watch along, I've actually heard a surprising amount of people say that this was a draw or could have been scored a draw. I didn't see it like that live, but I need to rewatch. Yeah, like I said, man, I saw it as a draw. 10-8 round 9. Round 5. 10-9 round 4. Ian Machado 10-9 round 1, 2, 3. That's why I was scared. I thought I was going to lose money on a draw, but shit, that's what I seen. I'm not sure if it was round 5 constituted a 10-8. I wish Prates would have kept trying to land shots on the ground instead of grappling. I mean, because of the damage landed, because of how many chances he had to finish the fight, I have to classify that as a 10-8. I just have to. Lorenzo says you should be ashamed. I should be, but I'm not. That's the sad part, right? I'm not ashamed at all. I'm not ashamed at all that I'm saying this because I mean, there's literally I don't see any evidence besides Shavkat's win streak and the win over Ian Gary that tells me that Ian Gary shouldn't fight for the title next. I mean, even with that win streak and the win over Ian Gary, isn't he like healing an injury right now? Isn't he still taking off till the end of the year? So if you wanted to march Ian Machado-Garry into a title shot in the fall and Bilal wanted to stay active if he beat Jack, or Jack wanted to stay active after he beat Bilal, this is the next fight to make. And you don't have to wait. Ian's ready to fight in 2 weeks. Why is he not ready to fight this summer or in the fall if Shavkat's waiting till winter? You feel me? You feel me, baby? Lazy says that 5th round was a handful of strikes from being stopped. 3 out of 5 referees call that fight off. Yeah. Whoa, saw it as a draw. Now you're getting silly. No, not getting silly. It was really a draw. If you really look at it depends on that 5th round. If you see that 5th round as a 10-8, it is absolutely a draw. If you don't see that 5th round as a 10-8 and you see it as a 10-9, then yeah, Ian Machado-Garry, unanimous decision. But that 5th round was dicey. This man was almost finished. I mean, when another man has you face down, ass up, grabbing you by the seat of your pants, having you crawl away, that feels like an L to me. I don't know about you. That feels like a fucking L to me. I don't care if I win the fight. I get a lot of memes out of that do not favor me. So, I forgot to go live on Instagram, didn't I? Oh, we're live now. Whoopsies. Yeah, I'm live on Insta now. My bad if I'm a little behind. Forgot to hit that go. But anyways, yeah, man. If a man with the nickname of the Nightmare has me crawling away to the fence for my life, essentially, and grabbing me, essentially by my cheeks, but grabbing me by my waistline, right between the cheeks. Basically, his fingers might have went down his crack to grab the fucking to grab the shorts, bro. I mean, that was this close to being finished. If you don't consider that a 10-8, what do you consider a 10-8? What would he have had to do in that 5th round? Would he have had to just beat him up for longer? Would you have rather him done it for 2.5 minutes rather than 1.5 minutes? Because that was a long ass sequence. I was fucking sitting there like, holy shit. I probably let off about 55 holy shits, at least. At least. But shit, man, Carlos Prates knows how to make a fight fun. If there's one thing that man knows how to do, he knows how to make a fight fun. Man, with a fun ending strike, with a fun ending sequence, with pre-fight antics, smoking cigarettes, talking shit. Man, he's a promoter. He is everything I want to see. I mean, I want to see him right behind Ian Gary, which is why I say if Ian Gary gets a title shot or a title eliminator after this, then Carlos Prates should be getting one of those 2 guys that I mentioned. Carlos Prates should get Sean Brady or Shavkat Rakhmonov. And tell me you wouldn't love to see that. Can he stop the takedowns against Shavkat? I mean, he stopped it against Gary. Can he stop the takedowns against Sean Brady? Or will Sean Brady end up like he did against Bilal, but probably on his back this time? Shit, I'd love to see it. If Shavkat can't fight next and one of these guys wants to get in there, Sean Brady, Carlos Prates. Oh, striker versus grappler at the fucking highest level. Oh yeah, I want to see that. Give it to me. Give it to me. I want to see it. I want to see it. Please, I want to see it. Also, 3. Let me go back to where was this? Lazy's. The 5th round was a handful of strikes from being stopped. 3 out of 5 referees call that fight off. There's only 2 referees that keep that fight going, and that's Dan Marigliata and Herb Dean. Okay? Mike Beltran stops that fight. Mark Goddard stops that fight. Jason Herzog stops that fight. It is what it is. And that's why referees matter. And that's why guys like Adesanya say, oh, shit. Who's in there with me? Is Godad? Is Godad? Mark Godad? Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. Herzog, Mark Smith. Oh, yeah, Mark Smith, too. Mark Smith ends that fight, too. Herb, Keith Peterson all stopped that fight in the 5th. You're right. Maybe Keith does. Herb Dean does stop that fight. Maybe like a herky-jerky stop, you know? Dan Morigliato was on one last night. Yeah, it's to be fair, he was. I mean, we all heard the clap stoppage of the fight around the world. It was a tough one to watch in that Poliana Vaiana and Jacqueline Amorim fight. It was tough to watch. Honestly, he probably ruined the Jacqueline Amorim round 1 submission. We probably would have got it right at the end there. And we had to settle for that round 2, which no one had, because she always submits people in round 1, and Viana always gets submitted in round 1. But of course it was round fucking 2, and we had the money on round 1. But we'll talk about that later. I could see Herb Dean even jumping in, even Hokey Pokey Jerb. Yeah, Hokey Pokey Herb. Hokey Pokey Jerb. He couldn't tell the clapper from the horn. Sounds matter. 915 says, better fight than I expected from both. Gary controlled and Prates went all 5, but he should still stop smoking. Nah, bro. Fuck that. I love it. I fucking love it. And he proved to all of us that he still got 5-round cardio. Now, granted, it was against a fighter that probably wasn't ready for a 5-round fight. So we really haven't seen Carlos Prates at true 5-round cardio. Technically. So maybe you got a point there. I'm done. I'll shut up. No, lazy. Keep it going. Keep it going. Let's also not forget they stopped the 4th round with 5 seconds left on the clock and Gary reeling. Now I'm done. Hey, man. All I'm saying is fighting nerds might still be undefeated. Yeah. Like Luke was saying during the stream, Carlos Prates' best win might be his loss against Ian Machado-Garry here. The trend continues. The trend continues. I mean, Ian Machado-Garry's best win before this was his loss to Shavkat, and now Carlos Prates' best win is his loss to Ian Machado-Garry. Now, whoever loses to Prates next, maybe Sean Brady. A loss to Carlos Prates might look like his best win. He might damn near finish him in round 5, and we're like, holy shit. And then we're like, if he had 5 more seconds. And then we're like, damn, Sean Brady's the truth, bro. You never know. You never know. 915 says, how did you do in bets? I did all right. You'll see in this week's wins. It's technically this week's wins. I ended barely up because all the singles on the night just dead. Parlayed, singles dead. It was a tough one. I can't lie to you. But yeah, I'd love to see all those matchups for both those guys. Ian Machado-Garry needs a gold in his future. Fighting for it, title eliminator, and interim belt at worst. He also showed good takedown defense reversals. Maybe they focused too much in that. Yeah, there's a chance. Because, I mean, on the feet, he looked great in 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, I feel like he was really trying to figure out. Maybe Gary was just too fast. He had too much of that quick twitch energy at the beginning of the fight. And then Carlos was like, all right, I'll get you when you slow down, motherfucker. I know you didn't get ready for 5. I know you ain't ready for 5. Are you ready to die? Is you ready to die? And Ian was, because he survived. Shit crazy, man. Before we get into UFC Vegas 66 results, we got to talk about one fighter on the main card that had a monumental win in his career. A fighter of Jamaican descent, a Caribbean brother. I got to give a shout out to Randy Rude Boy Brown. Randy Rude Boy Brown is my fighter spotlight of the week, baby. And deservedly so. Let's talk about Randy. Can't get no more freak, Randy. Randy trains at a Budokan Martial Arts Academy. He's been training there since 2010 until now. Also, he trains at Marquez MMA since 2021. A little dual action. A lot of fighters doing that these days, as you can see with Ian Machado-Garry and a lot of camps like that. Seems to be helpful. Sharpen tools both ways, getting lots of eyes on your game. Can't hurt. He trains out of Queens, New York. Shout out to New York, baby. Shout out to Long Island. Shout out to New York. Shout out to Queens. Shout out to Brooklyn. Fuck the city. But yeah, Randy Brown goes by the nickname Rude Boy. He's American and Jamaican. We'll get into that. He's 34 years of age, born July 8th, 1990. He's 6'3" at welterweight. Tall as fuck. Yeah. 78-inch reach. This man's only 5 inches shorter than John Jones on his reach. Switch stance fighter. Helps him a lot, especially with landing his kicks. He's 20-6 with 8 KOs, 5 submissions, and he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Nardu Debra. He aims to make a run at welterweight and is cracking that top 15, baby. Is he top 15 already? I feel like he should be. He's been around for so goddamn long. Man, he's not top 15 yet. We need to get him a top 15 fight next. We have to. Randy Brown, with a win like that, you deserve a top 15 opponent. Let's stop fighting these fringe guys. It's your time to shine, baby. It's your time to shine. Now let's talk about Randy. Randy was born in Springfield, Massachusetts, to Jamaican parents, but he moved to Spanish Town, Jamaica. So if you were confused, you're like, wait, he's Jamaican. Why'd you say he's American? That's why. He moved back to Jamaica as a toddler with his mother because she was deported. Okay. So this man knows struggle and finding his way back to where he needs to be. So don't forget about that, because that's a theme in Randy Brown's career throughout. His father is serving a triple life sentence and has been incarcerated for most of Randy's life. We're not going to get into what Randy's dad did because this is about Randy. Randy moved back to the U.S. at the age of 16 and attended Jamaica High School. Funny, right? Wait, what? New York? Yeah. Jamaica, Queens. Yeah. Spanish Town, Jamaica. Jamaica, Queens. 2 different Jamaicas. He's double Jamaican, okay? Double Jamaican. All right, don't fuck with Randy. He started boxing in 2005 before transitioning into martial arts at the age of 19. Had 6 amateur fights before turning pro in 2014. This man turned pro when I graduated college. That's crazy. Brown has a son, and he fights for his family as one of his driving forces. He began his professional fighting career in 2014, making his professional debut at Ring of Combat. Ring of Combat, we've known many fighters, many great fighters that we know, former champions that have come from Ring of Combat. Brown has 6 fights in the promotion, winning all by stoppage in the first or second round. And those were the last fights that he needed before going to the UFC. As you know, Randy Brown was discovered on Dana White's Looking for a Fight. He knocked out Robert Plotkin at Ring of Combat 53, and then he was signed to the UFC shortly thereafter. These were the best episodes of Looking for a Fight, by the way. I missed that series by Dana White. It used to be on UFC Fight Pass, UFC.tv, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, basically him and his buddies, why can't I remember their names? Matt Serra and Dean, they used to go on trips, basically eating food, checking out the area, and then they'd go to a local fight promotion. And at the end of the promotion, if they saw something they'd like, they'd talk to that kid in the back. They obviously saw them watching on the side, so thought they were there to sign them or something. And then they'd give the kid a contract. They've done this to many of our favorite fighters. Marab was one of those guys. They were actually there to see Rufian Stotts, and then Marab got the win, and they gave the contract to Marab. Similar situation. Randy Brown got a big win here. They gave the contract to Randy Brown. So Randy Brown is now a UFC fighter after winning on Dana White's Looking for a Fight. This is basically before Dana White's Contender Series. This is Contender Series basically spawned from Looking for a Fight. Okay. And then Randy Brown is now a UFC fighter, and he's been a UFC fighter for a hell of a long time, man. Hell of a long time, since 2016. The man has been in the UFC fighting for 9 years, clawing in the welterweight division. Absolutely clawing in the welterweight division, the second deepest division in the UFC. Clawing. Fought Matt Dwyer, Michael Graves, Brian Camozzi, Bilal Muhammad. Yeah, he fought Bilal in his first 5 fights in the UFC and lost by unanimous decision, but he fought Bilal. Yeah. Mickey Gall, Nico Price, Brian Barberena, Warley Alves, Vicente Luque, Alex Cowboy Oliveira, Jared Gooden, Kalen Chaos Williams, Francisco Trinaldo, Jack Della Maddalena, Wellington Turman, Muslim Salikov, Eliseo Zaleski dos Santos, Brian Battle, and Nicholas Dalby. That is a fucking hell of a list of fighters to have gone through. Are you serious? That was your first fights in the UFC? There's no wonder why you're still not at the top 15. You're fighting fucking killers every goddamn fight. If you fought Bilal in one of your first 5 fights in the UFC, you fought Warley Alves, a jiu-jitsu world champion. You fought Vicente Luque, a former tough finalist. You fought Jack Della Maddalena, who's fighting for the title in 2 weeks. Man, what a career you've had. What a career you've had. Now, let's quickly go over Michael Graves. Matt Dwyer was his first fight in the UFC on Fox, Johnson versus Bader. Rest in peace. January 30th of 2016 in Newark, New Jersey. Okay. Then he lost his second fight to Michael Graves by submission rear naked choke on Teixeira versus Evans, April 16th of 2016. Defeats Eric Montano by submission, guillotine choke, UFC Fight Night, Poirier versus Johnson, September 17th of 2016. Beats Brian Camozzi, PFL veteran, UFC veteran, TKO, knees and punches. Lewis versus Abdurakhimov, December 9th, 2016, in the second round in Albany, New York. Then he loses to Bilal Muhammad. Unanimous decision at UFC 208. UFC 208. That was 110 UFC events ago. Yes. Numbered events. Way more UFC events ago. But 110 numbered UFC events ago. That is when Randy Brown fought Bilal Muhammad. Yeah. Brooklyn, New York. He lost that fight. Mickey Gall beats him unanimous decision at UFC 217, 100 numbered events ago. Yeah. November 4th, 2017 in New York City. Then he loses to Nico Price, the punch from the bottom that we all remember. He was winning that fight. Tough L. That was probably the fight that was going to put him into the top 15. Maybe right at the fringe, start looking at some bigger fights around then, and just took an L in Boise, Idaho. July 14th, 2018, 6 days after his birthday. Tough one. Then he beats Brian Barberina by TKO, UFC Fight Night, Moicano versus Korean Zombie, June 22nd of 2019 in the third round, 2 minutes and 54 seconds in Greenville, South Carolina. Okay. Then defeats Warley Alves in Brazil by submission. A triangle choke. What a fucking win. UFC Fight Night, Blachowicz versus Jacare, November 16th, 2019 in Sao Paulo, Brazil, round 2. Then he loses to Vicente Luque. Another tough L, because he was really building up some steam to crack that top 15. Another thing that we're talking about with Randy Brown. Loses to Vicente Luque, big knee and punches at Brunson versus Shabazian, August 1st of 2020. Yep, pandemic time. It was a tough time. Everybody jostling for positions, just taking fights when they can because they didn't know when they were going to fight again. Las Vegas, Nevada. Then he goes on a nice streak again. 4-fight win streak. Submitting Alex Cowboy Oliveira at UFC 261, April 24th in 2021. Decisioning Jared Gooden on October 9th of 2021 at UFC Fight Night, Dern versus Rodriguez. This was a catch rate because Gooden missed weight. Kalen Chaos Williams beating him in a split decision, UFC 274, May 7th, 2022 in Phoenix, Arizona. And then beating Francisco Trinaldo in a unanimous decision at Dern versus Yan, October 1st, 2022 in Las Vegas. And then he runs into Jack Della Maddalena, who will be fighting another former opponent of his, Bilal Muhammad. Jack Della Maddalena wins the fight, submits him by rear naked choke at UFC 284, February 12th, 2023, in the very first round in Perth, Australia. Oof. Jack Della Maddalena cracks the top 15. And Randy Brown stays on the outside. But then he takes on Wellington Turman. He beats him in unanimous decision on UFC on ABC, Emmett versus Topuria, June 24th, 2023, Jacksonville, Florida. Then he knocks out Muslim Salikov, performance of the night bonus, at Dolidze versus Imavov with a punch, February 3rd of 2024. Then he beats Easy DS, Eliseo Zaleski dos Santos, by unanimous decision at UFC 302, June 1st of 2024 in Newark, New Jersey, and then loses a close split decision to Bryan Battle that many people think he should have won. Tough fight. Tough fight. This was at UFC 310, December 7th of 2024. And that was his last fight before this. This was a catch weight of 175, by the way, because Battle had missed weight. Another tough L for Randy Brown. He loses half his purse. And even though Bryan Battle wins 30% of his purse, goes to Randy Brown. Tough one. Tough one. Tough pill to swallow. But then he comes back this Saturday, coming in as a minus 200 favorite to Nicholas Dalby. April 26th of 2025 in Kansas City, Missouri. And in the second round, Randy Rude Boy Brown uncorks a left hook, right hook combo that knocks Nicholas Dalby right to his face on UFC, on ESPN, Ian Machado-Garry versus Carlos Prates. And Randy Rude Boy Brown gets the biggest win of his career because that should have gotten him a performance of the night bonus. And guess what? It did. That was fight of the night. Nicholas Dalby gets a performance bonus as well. What a freaking win for Randy Rude Boy Brown. He needs to get a fight that gets him into the top 15 after this. With a win like that, he needs that fight next. This is 10 years grinding in the welterweight division. And with a knockout win like that, that's why Randy Rude Boy Brown got my fighter spotlight of the week. Shout out to Randy Brown. Yeah. Let's get into these comments. Holy fuck. Oh my God. All right, here we go. Oh shit. I was so far back. All right. Rude Boy, main card minute in the house. Randy Brown, the type of dude to smack you with a 3-piece combo so fast from an angle so weird that you have to pause mid-fight. He's so long in there, man. You could just see it when he's fighting. He's fighting like he's Gumby. It's crazy. Better late than never. Facts. Yo, main card minute. Hey, too much BHP. Hey up, fellas. Randy is essentially from the home of the train transfer, Jamaica Queens, baby. Yes, sir. Home of the train transfer, BHP, my guy. What's up, gang? What's up, gang? MCM Lazy B, my G, what's happening? Dana White looking for a fight. I missed that series, guys, man. I used to love that series. I used to be deep in the Fight Pass. I used to be watching shit on Fight Pass you don't even know existed. You really, I was watching fucking, what is it? What's her name? Kira Gracie shit on there, bro. I was watching Kira Gracie shit on there. That's how deep I was in the Fight Pass back then. One of Murad's best wins and finishes. Yep, exactly. Rufian Stotts. Fun fact, I was at Randy's UFC debut January 2016. Shout out to that main card minute. Shout out to, why am I calling you main card minute, Luke? I don't know why. Had a little auto tune on 9 years there. Did I? I like it. Take away that controversial split decision, lost the battle, and Brown is on a nice run since JDM. Yeah, man. That's why we got to get him a top 15 guy after this. We got to. Lazy says, even in his losses, he never usually looks terrible. Yep. Good dusting, something. Best viewers. Oh, okay. I don't know what that was. 915 says, that's true. Randy Brown says, always looks good, even in losses for the most part. Gaff Anik over here. Let's go. Gaff Anik. Randy didn't even get a performance of the night bonus. He did get fight of the night, but still, while you get a face plant KO and don't get a performance bonus, yeah, that is pretty crazy, right? Randy didn't even get a performance of the night bonus. He did get fight of the night. You'll get, yeah. Wait, did I just put the same thing on? Brown becomes the first man to finish Dalby in his 30-fight, 20-year MMA career. That's crazy. Brown is the first guy to finish Dalby. 30 fights, 20 years, fought. Let's look at the people that Nicholas Dalby has fought, okay, that were unable to finish him, okay? Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, Darren Till, Alex Cowboy Oliveira, D-Rod Daniel Rodriguez, Tim Dirty Bird Means, Warley Alves, Jiu-Jitsu World Champion, Muslim Salikov, Kung Fu Panda, Gabriel Bonfim, Rinat Fakhretdinov. None of these guys were able to finish him. And then Randy Brown comes in there and clocks him. Oof. 20 years since his amateur debut in 2005. Never been finished. And Darren Till draw. And Randy's the guy to do it. Now, put some goddamn respect on my man Randy's name. Okay? And that's why he went in the motherfucking parlay. You feel me? You feel me? Was saying last night the Cage Warriors fight he had with Ross Houston was wild. No contest due to too much blood on the canvas. Yeah, that fight was crazy. I didn't watch it live. I watched all the social media and then I went back to see it because I was like, no, this is crazy. And they started slipping and sliding everywhere. The ref's like, oh, hold the fuck on. It was crazy. Yeah, it was champ versus interim champ. Yep. Yes, sir. I remember that. All right, let's get into the UFC Kansas City results. UFC on Vegas, UFC on ESPN 66. Let's call it UFC Kansas City. UFC Kansas City results. Okay, let's just go up and down the card real quick, shall we? Yeah. Zhang Mingyang defeats Anthony Smith via TKO elbows, round 1, 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Tough one, man. Anthony Smith took a big fat L there. Big right elbow cut on the top of his head, just literally wouldn't stop bleeding. Probably the worst spot on your head to get cut, if not right above your eye. Yeah, because it just kept leaking, pouring all the way down his face, creating a huge bloodbath, pooling in terrible places all over the mat. And the ref was just forced to call it because we got one last Anthony Smith fetal position. We got one last time with the GOAT. One last time with Anthony Smith. Curling up into a ball, covering up his head, telling us that he's done. But shout out to his career, man. Lionheart was a beast. No matter how you cut it, no matter how the way you look at it, Lionheart was an absolute freaking beast, bro. He fought all comers, never said no. As you can see by his goddamn record, he never said no. 38-22. Now, I'm not throwing shade. Don't look at me like I'm throwing shade. I'm a fucking Diaz lifer, okay? I don't give a fuck about wins and losses. I care about what you did in there, what we saw, how much fun we had while we watched you fight. And damn, Anthony Smith, you provided a lot of fucking fun, my boy. I mean, holy shit. Looking at all these fights. He had 2 stints in the UFC. He gave us some fun in Strike Force. You know what I mean? He fought Roger Gracie in Strike Force. He fought Josh Neer in Victory. He fought Antonio Braganetto in the UFC. He fought fucking Victor Moreno and Brian Green in Bellator. He fought in Cage Fury. Okay, then he came back to the UFC. Gave us a fun-ass fight against Elvis. He gave us that El Dirte knockout. He gave us the Hector Lombard knockout. He gave us the Rashad Evans knockout. He gave us the Mauricio Shogun Hua knockout. He gave us the Volkan sub. He gave us the John Jones loss. It was a win for John Jones. Obviously, it was a unanimous decision win, but shit, he could have won against John Jones. He gave us the Gustafson sub. He got his teeth knocked out by Glover Teixeira. That was a fucking moment. Okay. He subbed Brown Bear. He gave us the Jimmy Crute KO. I think he was knocking Jimmy Crute's teeth out in that one. He finished Ryan Spann and then made him quit in his close split decision. Just had him fucking all over the place. Magomed Ankalaev got to put him as a nice jewel on his belt. You know what I'm saying? Johnny Walker got a nice win off him. Khalil Roundtree got a nice TKO win off him. Got the nicest TKO win of his career with the fist standing over him. That shit was crazy. And we got the Dominic Reyes elbow KO, and now the Zhang Mingyang bloodbath. Bro, Anthony Smith is the GOAT of UFC moments. Okay? How many times have we seen him in a moment that we're like, fuck, we got to talk about that? It's almost every time he fights. So shout out to Anthony Smith on a fantastic career. I was glad to see him go out with a smile on his face, and I'm glad that they gave him a package. I mean, it was kind of crazy that they gave him a package and kind of skipped some other people like Stipe, but I'm glad that they're getting better at it. All right, deservedly so. He fought on so many promotions and gave us so many moments, had so many fun fights. I think he did deserve a package like that. It was just, the font was a little weird for me. That's it. Smith may have once had a Lionheart, but he's made more use of his turtleback. That's cold. I used to be heavy in the Cage Warrior scene. I barely know anyone anymore. Yeah, it is what it is. Smith versus Thiago, I was hyped for at the time. Both were unranked and won 3 fight KO streaks. Ooh, on 3 fight KO streaks. The font. Yeah, fuck that font, bro. That font was some bullshit. You feel me? Moving down the card. David Onama defeats Giga Chikadze via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. David Onama, great win at featherweight, now on a 5-fight win streak. He should be getting a really good, fun fight next. Looking at the rankings, I mean, he just beat the number 12 guy in the division, and he was unranked. So guess what, David Onama? Welcome to the top 15 of the featherweight division, motherfucker. You got some fights next. And the problem here is your teammate is going to be right next to you or right behind you. That's right. David Onama trains with Yusuf Zalal, and they both fight at featherweight. And they are both now going to be ranked. We have ourselves a Merab Aljo situation. If you didn't know, now you know. I don't know how this is going to play out at Factory X. I don't know how it's going to play out because they're both rising at the same rate. And I guess we got to hope that somebody takes an L and somebody takes a win here because it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. Lazy says, if anyone has Fight Pass, go back and watch Anthony Smith's fights versus Josh Neer back in 2013 and 2016 in VFC. Fun as hell. That's what I'm saying, man. Anthony Smith, gems. No matter how many times we've seen him in that fetal position, we're always going to look back and be like, damn, he gave us some shit, dog. He was a killer. He has some fucking finishes on there. God damn. Yeah. Abus Magomedov defeats Michel Pereira via unanimous decision, 30-27 across the board. We have to talk about it. That fucking dance. He came out with a choreographed fucking dance. Instead of that choreographed fucking dance, should have focused on beating the guy across from you in the octagon. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not talking about this fight. It's fucking annoying. It's so fucking annoying. I can't even imagine how Dana White feels. Will Michel Pereira get cut after a thing like this? I mean, I really don't think so, since I think, is he ranked? He's ranked. He's ranked 14 at middleweight. So no, I don't think he gets... Well, he might get dropped from the top 15. They might drop him, put Kopilov up at 14, and put Abus up at 15. That might happen. We might see Michel Pereira bounce out the top 15 before he even got to stay there for 4 months. He might be gone. There's a chance they cut him after that. There's too many antics before the fight that end in him losing the fight by decision. And the UFC doesn't like decisions, and they don't like when a fun fighter doesn't perform. So it's going to be tough. Bro, we can't put Onama Zalal in the Merab Aljo convo. Zalal might be a title contender one day, but I don't know about Onama. Dude barely beat Giga. Yeah, but I'm just saying, if Zalal fights for the title and gets the title now, because we think he's title ready, at least me and you do, and we don't think Onama's ready, this is actually exactly an Aljo situation, because then Zalal will have his time with the title, and by the time Onama gets there, somebody's going to have, it's either going to be you guys got to fight or somebody's got to go. And in the Aljo case, he left and went to featherweight, although he got punted out by Sean O'Malley. And Merab now holds the belt. Now, Onama definitely has the tools to be a champ in the future. He's got a great camp behind him at Factory X. He's got length for the division. He's got a really well-rounded game. He could strike with strikers. He could grapple with strikers. He could grapple with grapplers. And he could get into a dogfight. He had that dogfight with Nate Landwehr. So I've seen a lot of things from David Onama that if he tightens up the right things in his game, I could see him fighting for the title in the future. I mean, featherweight's not that stacked. It's not anymore. It used to be, but it's not that stacked anymore. I mean, Giga is there, but Emmett's about to leave. Gene Silva's there, but Aljo's in the division. Not that scary, no offense. Lerone Murphy. Brian Ortega's on his way out. Everybody's starting to beat him. Arnold Allen, Movsar Evloev. It's just the top 5 that's scary. Yair, Diego, Volk, Max. So, yeah. Featherweight, and these guys are old too, by the way. Volk has been talking about retirement for at least 6 months. Who's to say he's still here in a year when Zalal finally makes it to the title? Who's to say Brian Ortega's still here in a year and a half? These guys are all starting to age out. Aljo, if he takes 1 or 2 bad losses, Aljo's out this motherfucker, man. He's already been a champion. He don't need to stick around. So this division's starting to get cleared out. It's starting to get real hollow. And that's why guys like Yusuf Zalal, guys like David Onama, they're going to start creeping up in featherweight, man. You're about to see some guys at featherweight that you're going to be like, what the fuck? He's 15? What happened? you're about to see some shit. I just don't see Onama breaking the top 5. Hey, time will tell, man. Hey, we never saw what the fuck was his name? We never saw Charles Oliveira in the past, and guess what? He became a fucking champ. So, I mean, there's plenty of guys that we never saw. I never saw fucking Pantoja being a champ. I thought he'd always lose. Guess what? He's our fucking. I never saw DDP. I never saw Bilal becoming champ. Bilal's our fucking welterweight champ, bro. Like what? Yeah, surprises happen. So, man, anything can happen at featherweight. Anything. He definitely hurt himself dancing. He had to. Like, are you throwing this fight conspicuous? Maybe the Russians give him a boost and a load of cash. Lazy's cracking up. Bilal, good call, right? Like, who the fuck thought Bilal was going to be a champ? And they were like, well, shit, it happened. So anything's possible, man. Anything is possible. Anything. Randy Brown defeats Nicholas Dalby via KO. We already talked about that. Ikram Aliskerov defeats Andre Muniz by KO. Round 1, 4 minutes and 54 seconds. 6 seconds is all we needed to get to round 2. And maybe that over would have cashed. But it didn't. Ikram Aliskerov looks great. The only guys that he lost to was Chimaev and, you know. So I say skyrocket this dude. Middleweight needs contenders. Middleweight needs stories. Fuck it. I like him. I like him. Get him in there. Was that at middleweight? I think it was, right? Am I tripping? No, I'm not tripping, right? Yeah, that was a middleweight. Yeah. So please make that happen. Please. Ikram Aliskerov, top 15. I want to see him in there. Matt Schnell defeats Jimmy Flick, unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. I thought it was going to be KO. Matt Schnell finally gets back on the horse. He does good, gets a win in Missouri. Evan Elder defeats Gage Young. Elder defeats the Young. Unanimous decision, 30-27 across the board. Chris Gutierrez defeats John Castaneda in a close split decision, 29-28, 28-29, 29-28. I think Gutierrez deserved to win the fight. He did better work. John Castaneda waited too long to do some work. I honestly thought it was going to be a unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. I thought it was 1 for Castaneda. No. Yeah, 1 for Castaneda, 2 and 3 for Gutierrez. Damon Blackshear defeats Ali Alateng, unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. Great win for him. Got to show off his striking for once. We often see him using his submission game and ending fights early. So glad to see Damon Blackshear get some octagon time. Malcolm Wellmaker defeats Cameron Simon via KO punch, round 1, 1 minute and 59 seconds. I want to spend a little time on this guy because this guy needed a performance of the night bonus to quit his job on Monday. And Malcolm Wellmaker will be quitting his job on Monday, bitch. That's right. My man did it. He's getting a performance of the night bonus. Him and Zhang Ming Yang got him, baby. Besides the fight of the night with Randy Brown and Dalby. Unfortunately for Jacqueline Amorim, Timothy Kwamba, Jocelyn Edwards, Ikram Aliskerov, you guys didn't walk away with any money. But Malcolm Wellmaker, deservedly so, is getting his 50 to 60K. I don't know what it was for this. He's quitting his job. He's got knockout power. He's going to be a contender. We got some more fun at bantamweight. I can't wait to see it. Honestly, maybe we should match up Blackshear and Wellmaker on the next card. They tend to do that a lot. People that fall on the same card, they just match them up next time on a card against each other. So hopefully we get to see that. I would love to see that happen. Wellmaker. I bet we see Ikram back by September, October latest for Middle East cards. Probably. Yeah, they got to march him back out for those. Randy Brown not getting a bonus for knockout of the year contender while Zhang gets one is dog shit. He did. Slito, he got a fight of the night. So he shared it with Dolby. He gets the same amount either way, regardless if it was the performance bonus or the fight of the night. So it's all good. And actually, oh wait, no, Dolby didn't miss weight. I was gonna say if Dolby missed weight, he would have got double the purse, but that was a different fight. It was Giga Chikadze that missed weight. Yeah, so he only gets the 50K. But if Dolby had missed weight, he would have got the full 100K. So that would have been gangster as fuck. Wellmaker is so sick. The most confident pick bet I had on the card. Yeah, I did believe in him. I do follow. I mean, I was one of his first 9,000 followers. But for some reason, I just thought Cameron Simon, being younger and having so much experience, I was like, yo, maybe he's gonna put it on this kid, and maybe this first one won't go so well for him, but he'll learn from it type shit. But I wish I did put Wellmaker in the high risk over Simon. We would have still lost on Prates, but it is what it is. It is what it is. If Wellmaker is 5 years younger, he might be the biggest prospect in the UFC. Yeah, he is very late to MMA, almost on some DC shit. Because 30 as a prospect, now just 9-0, and only 30. I mean, 30 and 9-0. He's definitely got a lot of time. He's a bantamweight, so maybe he could put 5 fights on his record in the next year and a half, so that he'd be, like a 14, 15-0 fighter by in decent timing. But I feel like he's a little late to the game. But it is what it is. He's doing great. He's undefeated, so he's got a lot of shit going for him. Jacqueline Amorim defeats Poliana Viana, submission, rear naked choke, round 2. Like I said, little Dan Marigliata antics at the end of round 1 leads to it getting into round 2, and then she finishes her minute and 49 into round 2. Yeah, didn't take too long. The underhit. Timothy Kwamba defeats Roberto Romero, TKO flying knee right at the end of round 2, 3 minutes and 55 seconds. I was tight because I had Kwamba round 3, and I just needed him to survive. I had Kwamba round 3. It was round 2. It was tough. But shout out to Timothy Kwamba. Trains out of Extreme Couture with Eric Nixick. Gonna have a big win, big fight coming. And Jocelyn Edwards, I told you guys she was a lock. I told you she was my most confident pick on the card. I was like, Chelsea Chandler runs away and fights. Jocelyn's about to put this shit on her. And yeah, she TKO'd her in round 1, 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Barely hit the over half a round. Yeah. Crazy. And that completes my UFC on ESPN 66 results. UFC Kansas City results. We're done talking about the UFC. Let's get into some boxing. Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. What a fight. What a fight. One of the funner boxing fights I've seen in quite some time. Conor Benn coming out, winging it. Fucking running at him, throwing big hooks, just eating jabs left and right. Just going for it. Gotta love it. Conor Benn said, nah, I don't give a fuck about boxing. We're going to fight. He said, boxing? We about to fight in this bitch. This is a fucking, this is generational fighting right here. Okay, my dad and your dad hate each other. Me and you hate each other. We're fucking going at it. And guess what? That brewed a fantastic war. Chris Eubank Sr. saying that he wasn't going to be in the corner for his son, ended up going to the fight, ended up showing up. Glad to see that, because in the end, boxing is just a small part of what we're doing here. It's all about martial arts. It's all about self-discovery. It's all about discipline. It's all about respect. So glad to see that in the end, family reigns supreme over everything. So I'm glad to see that Chris Eubank Sr., Chris Eubank Jr. reunited over this, and the Benns obviously happy with their performance, because it was a hell of a fight. Conor Benn loses by unanimous decision. Chris Eubank just too big, too long. Conor Benn having to get on the inside a lot, eating a lot of jabs for it. So Chris Eubank Jr. is just racking up the points the entire time. Conor Benn hurt him a few times late with a couple hooks, couple uppercuts, couple clinch strikes, close. But in the end, Chris Eubank Jr. is the victor. We'd love to see this fight again. I could see this fight happening 2 more times, to be honest. I actually scored this fight for Ben, believe it or not. I had Ben up 2 rounds by the end of it. I thought he stole the I think the 11th round, and I think he lost the 12th, but I still think it was a Ben fight. It is what it is, man. Everybody wins in a fight like that. Nobody loses in a fight like that. Even though it says unanimous decision, Eubank Jr., everybody won. The fans won. The Ben family won. The Eubanks family won. Boxing won. It wasn't corrupt, I would say. So we had a good night. And even though it was a boring-ass night of decisions, no finishes on the entire card, that last one was a banger. And that's what we wanted to see. So shout out to Chris Eubank Jr. Shout out to Conor Benn. I'd love to see that fight next. That was at middleweight, by the way. That was at middleweight. So I don't know matchups. I mean, Conor Benn came up in weight. That was not his natural weight class. So will he stay at middleweight? He could if he wanted to. I don't think he will because of how that went. But for a Eubank Jr. fight, he probably would. I mean, he stood in there. He gets the first loss of his career here. So I don't know what's next for him. But if you guys want to know the middleweight champions, well, a couple of them are fighting next week. Yeah. Canelo Alvarez, William Scull. They're super middleweight, though weight class up. But yeah, middleweight. Eubank Jr. looked a little drawn out at middleweight, so maybe he'll be going up to super middleweight. And maybe another big win, he could be fighting Canelo next. Canelo's just trying to pick up wins at this point in his career. I mean, he's fighting William Scull. So, yeah. The other middleweight champs, Janibek, Alim Kanuli, Erslandy Lara, Carlos Adames. At junior middleweight, there's Sebastian Fundora, Terrence Crawford, Bakram Zaliev. There's a lot of cool matchups for either guy if they want to stay at middleweight. So, yeah. Moving down on the card, Aaron McKenna defeats Liam Smith. Yes, the same Liam Smith that has a win over Chris Eubank Jr. He was on the undercard here. He wins in a unanimous decision through 12 rounds. Anthony Yard defeats Lyndon Arthur by unanimous decision through 12 rounds at light heavyweight. Vidal Riley defeats Sheevan Clark by unanimous decision. This was a cruiserweight fight for the title. And Vidal Riley becomes the champ, defeating Sheevan Clark. And Chris Billiam Smith defeats Brandon Glanton by unanimous decision. That was 10 rounds at cruiserweight. Yep, 5 decisions. So if you had time to kill, you were watching that boxing card front to back like a book, baby. Because there was no, oh, go to the bathroom. This guy got knocked out. I can wait till the next walkout. No, you were just watching fights all day. Just punchy, punchy, punchy. But it was what it was. It was what it was. Other news in boxing. Other boxing notables. We got a lot of cards coming up this week, guys. A lot of fights coming up. Hold on to your fucking hats. Because we got 3 different cards just this coming weekend. New York City, DAZN pay-per-view, May 2nd. Ryan Garcia versus Rolando Romero. 12 rounds at junior welterweight. Also on that card, Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. Also on that card, Teofimo Lopez Jr. versus Arnold Barbosa Jr. Don't forget, big card, May 2nd. New York City, DAZN pay-per-view. May 3rd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on DAZN. Title fight, Canelo Alvarez versus William Scull. 12 rounds for Alvarez's WBC, WBO, and WBA super middleweight titles, and Skull's IBF super middleweight title. That is May 3rd, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. On May 4th in Las Vegas on ESPN and ESPN Plus, we have a title fight between Naoya Inoue and Ramon Cardenas. 12 rounds for Inoue's undisputed junior featherweight championship. Don't worry, at the end of the stream, I will give my picks on all 3 of these fights. May 10th in Kissimmee, Florida, Erickson Lubin versus Ardiel Holmes Jr. 12 rounds at junior middleweight. Another possible fight. May 10th in San Diego on ESPN and ESPN Plus, a title fight between Emmanuel Navarrete and Charlie Suarez. 12 rounds for Navarrete's WBO junior lightweight title. May 13th in Queensland, Australia on DAZN, the title fight between Jai Opetaia and Claudio Scull. 12 rounds for Opetaia's IBF cruiserweight title. May 24th in Osaka, Japan, 2 title fights. Angelo Leo versus Tomaki Kameda. 12 rounds for Leo's IBF featherweight title. And Pedro Taduran versus Jinjiro Shagioka. 12 rounds for Taduran's IBF strawweight title. May 24th in Glasgow, Scotland on DAZN, Josh Taylor is taking on Iko Usman. 12 rounds at welterweight. And finally, May 31st in Las Vegas on Prime Video, Caleb Plant versus Jose Armando Resendiz. 12 rounds at super middleweight. Also on that card, Jamal Charlo in his comeback fight against Thomas Lamana. 12 rounds at super middleweight. That is your entire boxing slate for the month of May. You're fucking welcome. All right. Moving on to our favorite segment of the week, baby. That's right. It's this week's wins. That's right. This week's wins. That's right. This week's wins. That's right. This week's wins. Bitch. Let's go. If you tailed the one more round parlay, oh yeah, it looks something like this. Yeah, David Onama, Randy Brown, Chris Gutierrez. David Onama, sweaty after round 1. Chris Gutierrez, sweaty after round 1. Pull off the decision wins, getting rounds 2 and 3. Randy Brown knocking his opponent out. Let's go. Because it cashed. Cash it. 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 You're welcome if you tailed. You're welcome if you tailed. That's what I do. I provide a green check every week. I try, at least. I try. I do my best to provide you a green check every week. At least one parlay that'll cash. So it suits you right to tail. But yeah, cashed, baby. Shout out. Shout out. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But before, I gave you guys a pick on Chris Gutierrez and John Castaneda. I told you, I was like, if any fight on this card is going to go to split decision, it's this fight. If any fight on this entire card is going to go to split decision, it's this fight. Both of these guys fight tooth and nail for their wins. And, you know, it's not about how much you put on it. It's about the units. Plus 250. Okay? Plus 250. You got to love that bet. An easy bet. All you had to do was, nobody had to, you just had to go to the distance. And you know it was going to go split if it was those two guys. These guys are kings of the split decisions. So that split, you can only do it on DK, unable to do it on FanDuel. So it is what it is. But glad that cashed. We had the Schnell over 1.5 rounds. I did not trust that at all, as you can see by my $1 thrown on it. But yeah, because I thought I had Schnell TKO in many parlays, and yeah, got fucked. Got fucked real hard. Also cashing on FanDuel for $1.50 or whatever the fuck, you know. Who cares? I lost all my singles, basically. Every single single I put out on the night. And if I won on the single, it was in a parlay that eventually died on something else. Okay, just quickly going over what I lost on. Lost on Jocelyn Edwards' decision. Lost on Kwamba decision. Lost on Kwamba round 3. Lost on Jacqueline Amorim submission round 1. Lost on Cameron Simon decision and Wellmaker KO round 2. Lost on Damon Blackshear submission. Lost on Ali Alateng decision. Lost on Oh, no, we won on Chris Gutierrez's decision, but it was in a parlay that lost. We stayed away from Elder Young. We lost on Schnell TKO. We lost on Alice Skarov decision. We lost on the over in that fight. We lost on Randy Brown decision. We had Randy Brown TKO in a parlay that eventually lost because Carlos Prates didn't get the TKO. We lost on Michelle Pajeda decision. We lost on Michelle Pajeda sub. We lost on David Onama TKO. But we had David Onama decision, which lost on a parlay that also had Randy Brown decision. And then we lost on Anthony Smith decision and Zhang Ming Yang decision. And we lost on Prates TKO, Ian Gary TKO, all those. So it was a tough night on singles. But at least the parlay cashed, okay? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Like I said, we had the one more round parlay. that cashed. Okay. And we did a quarter unit. I told you fight nights, we usually do half units. This fight night I wasn't so sure about. Plus, we have another fight night next week. I thought we only had one fight night, then our numbered event. But I went light this week, a little quarter unit action. Little 25 into a 90 piece, 85 piece, whatever you want to call it. But it was pretty nice. And of course, we did it on both apps. Of course, we did it on both apps because I believe in my picks. And that's why I put them out there. So Chris Gutierrez, Randy Brown, David Onama cashes on FanDuel as well at plus 231. A little weird that FanDuel odds weren't as good as the DraftKings odds because FanDuel's usually better, but it is what it is. DraftKings won the weekend. Sorry, guys, that we didn't cash on the UFC high-risk parlay. Carlos Prates didn't cash. Obviously, we were this close to cashing that. And then Michelle Pajeda didn't pan out. Matt Schnell worked out, but Cameron Simon didn't work out. So this was a loser pick right here. Only one of four. Sorry about that one. Hopefully you didn't take those guys as singles as well because we got fucked on those. And we also got screwed on the Ian Machado-Garry TKO. But UFCP units was right again because they chose the right fighter. Ian Machado-Garry did end up getting the win. So that was nice to see. Speaking of that fight, the only other single that we won on the night was an Ian Machado-Garry decision, and I hastily put it in last second, but I just threw 5 at it at a plus 200, brought back 15, more than double the money. Can't be mad at that. Got it on both apps. Got it at plus 220 on FanDuel there, so I brought back 16 instead of 15. So you can't be mad at it. A little $100 night on both apps. I ain't mad at it. We basically, barely ended up because of all the losses on the singles, but it is what it is, y'all. That's the game we're playing. That's why we do it. And that's why I'm not mad at a brief but nice little win, short edition of this week's wins. This week's wins, baby. Yeah. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Let's get into some picks, right? We got a few cards coming up, so I'm going to try to go through all these quick because I'm going to try to get you out of here in the next 10 minutes, okay? Let's see these comments. This week's wins. That's right. This week's wins. That's right. Yeah. All right, so PFL 4 picks. We got PFL 4 this week. So think of how much combat sports we have this week, guys. We got PFL 4 on Thursday or Friday. I think it's Thursday. We have PFL 4 on Thursday. We have UFC on Saturday. Sorry, we have Ryan versus Rolly on Friday. We have UFC on Saturday. We have Canelo on Saturday. We have Inoue on Sunday. Every single day of the week is filled with combat sports. It's going to be a fun one. Fun parlays can be made. That's all I'm going to say to you. PFL, these are my picks. Phil Davis. I got to go with Phil Davis. I love Phil Davis. I know Luke's going to go with Rob. Sorry, Luke. We're going head to head again, baby. We're 1-1 this week. I got you on Onama. You got me on Ian. We're going back. Rob versus Phil Davis, baby. I also got Carl Moore, Sullivan Colley, and Alex Polizzi. I think Alex Polizzi can surprise some people. As you know, he's coming up in weight. He used to be a middleweight fighter. This is now at light heavyweight. Yeah, he's taking on Rafael Xavier. So I think Polizzi can get a win here. He's going to use his wrestling game to his advantage. I also think Sullivan Colley will get a nice win over Marcelo Nunez. I think Sullivan Colley has all the right tools to get a submission win here. We tend to go with Linton Vassell, but Oleg Popov, Oleg screwed me in my last bet. I'm pretty sure I put him in a parlay. He screwed me. We're going with Linton Vassell as well. Fuck it. We never go with Timothy Johnson just because Timothy just seems to take L's for us. So we're probably going to go with Romanov here. Stay away from the Carl Albrechtsen and Simeon Powell fight. Anything could happen there. Powell could get the KO. Albrechtsen could wrestle fuck him the whole time, so who knows? But I think Carl Moore could get the win over Antonio Carlos Jr. I really do. I think he could land something big. He's a big, powerful guy. Antonio Carlos Jr. is good when he gets you to the ground, but he has to get you to the ground. Valentin Moldavsky's taking on Sergey Bilosteny. I got to go with Moldavsky here. And then Phil Davis got to take on Rob Wilkinson. I got to go Phil Davis. Fuck Rob Wilco. He screwed us. He's literally on one of our graphics for this week's L's. All right. I only have 2 people on the graphics for this week's L's. It's Rob Wilkinson and Clay Collard. So, yeah, hell no. Not putting the money on Rob Wilkinson ever again. Sorry, buddy. And those are my picks for PFL 4. Sorry, Luke. Luke, yeah, you could take your loser pick. Take your L. Take your L. Last time I went with your boy, I ended up on this week's L's. Okay, and I'm trying to have another this week's wins. We're trying to go back to back on this week's wins. So no, not going with your boy Wilco, Luke. Sorry, bud. Going on to my UFC picks. Fight Night, Sandhagen versus Figueiredo. This is out of Des Moines, Iowa. Ayahuasca. All right. You know I'm going with Juliana Killer Miller, baby. You know I'm going with Juliana Killer Miller. Oh, yeah. Juliana Miller is taking on Ivana Petrovic. I got to go with Juliana Miller. I'm always going to go with Juliana Miller. Always. Always, baby. Gaston Bolaños taking on Kong Lee. I think Gaston could get a big win at bantamweight. Marina Rodriguez, Jillian Robertson. Jilly Bean, baby. Jillian Robertson. I think she's going to take her down. Marina Rodriguez tends to stay on her back when she gets there. If Jilly gets her there, she's going to stay there. She might yank up that sub. So I got to take Jillian Robertson. She'll probably be a decently sized dog here. If they have her at minus money, it's going to be tough. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be tough. Ryan Loder taking on Azamat Bekoev. I think the tough winner might be running into an L here. I don't know. But I think Misha Tate is going to beat Yana Santos. I think Jeremy Stevens, as a sizable dog, is going to run through Mason Jones. Keep in mind, this is in Des Moines, Iowa. This is Jeremy Stevens' backyard where this all started for him. He's taking on somebody from out of the States. He's traveling. Just think about how many factors for the guy. He's traveling. He's doing all this. Now, hometown fighters don't always do the best. They tend to get knocked out in their hometown. But this is Jeremy Stevens. He always rises up to the occasion. So I really think Jeremy Stevens is a live dog here against Mason Jones. Now, Mason Jones could wrestle him and do the same shit that people do to Jeremy Stevens to get wins. But Jeremy Stevens has heavy freaking hands, man. Cameron Smotherman. You already know. The money, he's in the parlay already. He's his spot on the one more round regular parlay is reserved, and he might also have a spot on the high risk. Okay? Cameron Smotherman is going to run through Surrey City. All right? I'm telling you that right the fuck now. Montel Jackson taking on Daniel Marcos. That's going to be a tough fight for Montel Jackson. Daniel Marcos really good at stealing fights. I might bet the split decision in that fight. I don't even care who wins. I might just bet the splitty. Santiago Ponzinibbio and D-Rod. I got to go with D-Rod. Fuck it. That's not a real pick for me. I'm just saying fuck it on that one. If you want to go with that, go with that. But I don't know who to pick in that fight. René de Ridder, Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel's also got his spot reserved on the parlay. It's basically Smotherman, Bo Nickel, and probably Sandhagen is going to be the parlay. I'm probably going to, it's early. Go look at the odds now. Fuck it. Let me do it with you. Let me do it with you. Hopefully we get decent odds on this. All right, let's go. I might as well join in on the fun, right? We got a little time. We got 5 minutes. Okay, so if we do that parlay right now, Bo Nickel at minus 305, Corey Sandhagen at minus 155, Cameron Smotherman at plus 136. That's a plus 282. That's so fucking happening. Oh, yeah. Cameron Smotherman. Also, Smotherman from that Factory X camp, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. If you haven't noticed, they've been picking up a lot of wins besides Anthony Smith. Yusuf Salal, David Onama, Chris Gutierrez, Cameron Smotherman. Just saying. Cameron Smotherman, he's a dog right now, guys. That is my gold star pick right now. Cameron Smotherman. You better get him before he goes minus. That's all I'm going to say to you. Get him before he goes minus. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. And Sandhagen, Sandman, all day. You already know. Let's get into some boxing before we get out of here. I got picks for the boxing cards this week. Actually, let's get through these comments before we do that. You're wild. Wild for what? Little heathen, though. You already know. Montel Jackson going to decision. Yeah, I think he can. He's got a tough opponent. Daniel Marcos is not easy to finish. What the hell? I know he gets a lot of finishes, but you can't just expect Montel Jackson. I expect every single fight to go the distance from the jump. Unless you're a knockout artist like a fucking Prates, I think decision is my first instinct. And Slido says, oh shit, I'm going to place a bet on Smotherman right now if he's a dog. Plus 136 right now, guys. Plus 136, Cameron Smotherman. It's the year of Cameron. Remember I said that. It's Cameron's time. All the Camerons are fucking on the come up right now. So I'm telling you, Cameron Smotherman, he's my pick. I'm going to have a single on him. He's going to be, I'll probably have to throw him in the high risk just because he's a dog. I never throw plus money bets in my regular risk parlay just because, you know, it's scary no matter what. People are apprehensive to take bets that have a plus money leg in it. So I'm going to have to throw him in the high risk, but there's a chance that I have my own little regular one more round parlay with Smotherman, Sandhagen, and whoever the other name I said was. It's right here. Why can't I fucking remember who it was? Bo Nickel. Yeah. Bo Nickel. Yeah. Juliana Miller was the Smotherman plus Jackson money line plus 251 cash. And I love that, Slido. I love that pick right there. I'm about to slam that too. I don't want to tie the money up too early, but if I'm literally going to monitor Cameron Smotherman all week. If I see him go under plus 121, if he goes to plus 120, I got to place a bet right away. Because if it goes to minus money, I'm going to be kicking myself in the fucking teeth. Picks on Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero. I got picks right away. I'm going to go through these quickly. I already did the research, okay? Ryan Garcia, TKO round 6 through 8. Round 6 through 8, okay? That's when Rolly tends to gas normally. That's also when Ryan has a lot of his TKO wins. It's round 6 to 8. That's when he starts to warm up, see what his opponent's really doing, and start to land his power hooks. So I like 6 to 8. If you don't like a round choice, just go Ryan Garcia TKO. It's pretty much going to be minus, right? Let me go look at it right now. Let me see if I can look at this with you guys. Boxing. Come on, here we go. All right, Ryan Garcia is minus 900 right now. Ryan Garcia by TKO is minus 350. Round betting, they don't have the groups out just yet. Oh, they do. They have 7 through 9. Ugh, I want that 6 though. I want that 6er. What did I say? 6 through 8. So it's either 1 through 6 or 7 through 12. 7 through 12 is plus 180. So I like that. I also love 7 through 9 at plus 300. I love 7 through 9 at plus 300. But yeah, Ryan Garcia, TKO. Teofimo Lopez. Arnold Barbosa Jr. is a fantastic fighter. And I don't think Teofimo Lopez Jr. is going to be able to TKO him. So your bet for this, especially since they're probably going to have Teofimo decision at like minus 150, minus 115. So your best bet is either to take that at minus 115 because it's damn near plus money. It might even turn to plus money by the time the fight starts. You could also try to take Teofimo by unanimous decision. I think he runs away with it. I think he's a really good fighter. And when he tends to get wins, it's a unanimous decision win. I mean, he split decision lost to Kambosos, but most of his other wins, all unanimous. So that's probably the bet here. I don't see it listed on the books just yet, but by the time the fight rolls around, it should be something good. And the over is a lock at minus 500, obviously. Devin Haney, unanimous decision as well. That parlay would probably do you pretty good. A Teofimo Lopez unanimous decision mixed with a Devin Haney unanimous decision would probably be pretty sexy. So I'd consider that if you guys are betting this card on Friday. Okay, and those are my picks for that card. For the Canelo card, I got a couple picks for you as well. Canelo Alvarez by unanimous decision. It's not going to be a split with William Scull. He's going to run away with it. Canelo, towards the end of his career, since he's gone up in weight, has not been getting a lot of finishes. His last finish was Caleb Plant in one of the last rounds of that fight. I think that was an 11-round TKO. So besides that, all his other wins since then, unanimous decision, majority decision, unanimous decision. So unanimous decision is the bet for Canelo. Regular decision is probably going to give you dog shit money back. I'm just going to keep it $150 with you. It's minus 4,000 Canelo money. Wow. Plus 180. Hey, Canelo plus 180 on the decision is worth it. If you're dumb enough to take that TKO at minus 225, I don't think Skull's ever been finished, by the way. So to take Canelo to get it, I mean, he does tend to put it on people, but I really like that decision on Canelo at plus 180. Don't even take the unanimous. Just take decision straight up at plus 180. Fuck it. Jaime Munguia got knocked out by this guy in their last fight. Jaime Munguia, Bruno Sarace. Bruno knocked him out in the last fight. Jaime Munguia is now favored at minus 900. I would go with the revenge Munguia KO. If you really feel froggy, you might as well go with the Sriracha KO again. Maybe he repeats what he did. He's like, yo, I won that fight. What the fuck y'all talking about? So we'll see, but definitely a KO in that fight. Definitely take the under. I don't see that fight going the distance. And then Martin Bakole, I like him to get a TKO in rounds 1 through 6. I like him an early TKO. When he does get finished or when he does get wins, it's early in the fight. So I see a 1 through 6 TKO there. Let me see if we can get some good odds on that. Martin Bakole, he's minus 425 right now. They haven't released any fight lines for him just yet, but when that comes out, I suggest taking the TKO 1 through 6, probably just the TKO if it's not minus money. And then Badu Jack, I like Jack to win the decision. I also like him a split decision. You could also take either fighter to win by split decision and take the stress out of it. So that's the fights that I like for that card. Let's check these comments. Luke said, I just made a bong gong like someone requested it. Nice. That's going to be money for the next stream. I can't wait. And then the last thing I'm talking about before I let you guys go and watch basketball for the rest of the day. On Sunday, I'll probably talk about this again on my next stream because I'll be live before this fight happens. But Naoya Inoue and Ramon Cardenas is next Sunday. Next Sunday. Your best bets here are Naoya Inoue by TKO. Obviously, he always gets the TKO. That's what we know him for. That's what we love him for. He always brings the money home. I'm not going to start denying him and doubting him now. Let's see what odds we got on that. He's minus 5,000, guys. So come on. The TKO is minus 1,000. So my bet here is TKO round 6 through 8. Round 6 through 8. I think he's going to do it in round 6, 7, or 8. Round 6 is plus 700. Round 7 is plus 800. And you can see where the trend is going. Round 8 is plus 900. So, yeah, those are the bets there. I don't know what the grouping is yet. They haven't released the odds on that yet because, yet again, the fight is a week away. But when that happens, we should be cashing on a nice Sunday ticket on Naoya Inoue. Hopefully, we can cash a ticket 5 days in a row. Me and Luke, I'm going to talk to Luke. Maybe we can create a parlay that goes across the 5 days. Luke, let me know what you think about that. But maybe we could have one leg for every day. So our Thursday leg would be we're definitely not doing the main event. We'll do something on that card, but somebody money line or somebody to win by this. And then our pick on Friday is Ryan Garcia TKO 6 through 8. Our pick on Saturday is Sandhagen decision. Our pick on Sunday is let's do something like that. That would be a fun parlay to give to the people. So we'll see what we can do. Those are my picks for the card. It is Luke says, I'm into that. Let's fucking go. All right. So we got a 4-legger coming your way for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be looking to put that out. Hopefully we'll probably just do a graphic for it because neither of us are going to be live before Thursday. I'm going live Friday for CP units. So it'll be too late by then. So we'll talk about something. Luke's into it. So tune in, guys. Don't forget to check the socials. Don't forget to follow on socials. Scan the QR codes below. Become a fan of the main card minute on the left. One more round fights on the right. We'll be doing watch-alongs for PFL, Rolly versus Ryan, UFC. Well, I'm not sure about Rolly versus Ryan, but definitely PFL and UFC. So if Luke doesn't do the PFL one, he'll probably come back here for one more round fights on Thursday. But we'll see what happens. Don't forget to follow on social. Like, subscribe to stream. You all know. Look out for the social graphics that we're going to put out for that 4-leg parlay across the week. That'll be on one more round fights and on main card minutes. So don't forget to follow the socials there as well. Yeah, it's a little different on X. Fuck you, Elon. Don't forget to send your wins into one more round fights at gmail.com. Shout out to our sponsor, WWGG. Hey, sponsors, hit me up, motherfuckers. I want free shit. Okay? Everybody wants free shit. I want free shit. Send some shit to my home, and I want to show it off and be successful. So, yeah. All right? I'm getting the fuck out of here. I got to make my basketball bets. I got to eat some food. I got to relax. You guys enjoy the rest of the week. We got a fucking fun fight week ahead. It's fucking packed. It's packed, all right? So put your hats on. You hear me? All right. Sleeto says shout out. Peace, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a good next week. Deuces.